kicked in by 5 other niggas simultaneously. That's the issue. That doesn't seem like someone who is in sound character saying, you know what, I have an issue, let me present it. Remember, I always say this when it comes to media people, because, they'll wait till somebody is like kind of down and everybody's like, all the vultures are starting to circle, and they're like, now's the time to get him. I'm like, nah, I'll catch him on a one-on-one. I don't want to go fight him when he's already on the ground like this. Like, come on, like you won't get no points for that. And that's where I think if I'm Drake in terms of reconciliation, why would I want to reconcile with you if you tried at the moment you thought I was the closest to being taken out? That's the first time you showed your hate. It's the first time you showed that we weren't cool. In any other time where you knew that I'm Teflon, yeah, you fire a couple shots at me, I'm still going to be Drake. You never pop out. You were too scared to pull the gun. But now, as soon as you say, oh, he's almost out, let me add on. Let's get him out of here. That seems more cynical. And, yeah, I don't know if you could. It feels more snake-like. I don't feel like you could really. You can't go back to being the same with those people because they have hidden intentions. You're winning. They're fake smiling with you. They act like they like the fact that you're on top, but they probably secretly despise the fact that when they ask you for a feature. And by the way, I've heard this. I'm not going to lie. These artists will stay unnamed. But I've kind of heard certain artists where, I feel like the relationship, they feel like that they're begging Drake. Which, kind of y'all are, right? Like, he's not begging y'all for a feature. Y'all begging him. And it's not because of, obviously talent is a part of it. But I think, like when I've heard artists talk about it, that this is like behind the scenes convo, right? I've heard artists talk about like Drake. It's always that they look at it like, yo, when Drake needs us, we're there. When we need him, I get it, he's the biggest artist, but he doesn't just do the same thing. We're jumping through hoops, we're doing this, da-da-da-da. And they kind of have some resentment for that. This is a little bit of resentment for how that is. Like, during the battle, like, again, so I would never say who, but like, certain people like, yo, yeah, certain people who try to do songs with him, it's not the easiest process. Like, Drake's people is not, it's not the easiest thing, as opposed to the opposite. But again, Drake's the biggest artist in the world. So I do think there's some resentment that kind of like, like everybody's getting a little bit resentful. And they're probably like, man, if we could knock this fuck nigga off top, not that we would do it, but maybe he needs to be brought down a couple levels to humble his ass. Right? Like, shit, I told y'all. I heard not that he's one of these people, but I heard the main issue with, remember Roddy Ricch came out strongly and supported Kendrick. Now, obviously he's from Compton, and that's a West Coast thing. I hear, that's one of the moments where Roddy Ricch most likely popped out, not only because of Kendrick, but because him and Drake, their situation got a little weird. How is it weird? Drake did a song with Roddy Ricch. The song got leaked. Roddy Ricch still wanted to release it. Drake said, no, let's do another song at some point.